You're just joining us, hello and welcome. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jacera Skates. I generally go by Jay and I'm open to any pronouns. This is SGA's third fall meeting. We have our next General Assembly meeting on September 14th in the SSCB Lecture Hall with overflow areas in the student lounge and in SoCal. We will revisit our COVID protocols after this meeting and for each General Assembly meeting moving forward because we choose to proceed responsibly. As I have mentioned before, this year you will notice some additions to our weekly meetings, including new structures as we strive to be more inclusive and create healing-centered and trauma-informed practices, including having these doodle sheets available, encouraging social distancing as well as the use of masks, making snacks and drinks available, as well as creating a meeting structure that keeps you informed of what is coming next. I want to let those of you on Zoom and in the lecture hall know that the meeting is being recorded and will be uploaded to SGA's YouTube page. If you are currently in the overflow rooms in the student lounge or in SoCal, and you have a question, comment, or concern for open forum, we ask that you sign in via Zoom to speak or post through our anonymous submission link. Today, we welcome speakers from the Division of Student Affairs and Student Organizations. I will ask all speakers to please keep to their designated times. And with that, I call this meeting to order. For those of you on Zoom, in order to help with recording this meeting's roll call and to ensure we address you all correctly, please update your name to include the one organization you are representing, as well as the pronouns you would like for us to use in this forum. I understand that your pronouns might vary in different settings, so please type the ones you are comfortable using and sharing here today. Also, please type your name and the organization you are representing in the chat. You might notice in places our PowerPoint is more descriptive to let you know what we will need to do to move the meeting forward. Please take a moment to review the minutes that you received when you signed into the meeting or that were posted in the chat. And if you agree, I will need someone to say, I move that we approve the minutes as written, and another person to say, I second the motion.
I move that we approve the minutes as written.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I second that motion.
All right, the motion has been moved and seconded. Thank you very much. Next, we move into fund requests. We had an organization reach out to us regarding a fund request and have responded to them. We are working with also and the student organization to take the necessary steps to move forward. We currently do not have any presentations today, and our budget remains at $22,500. If you need to request funds from SGA, please use the links available in the agenda. If you have any questions, please email us at sga@uhcl.edu. Today, we welcome Shelby Kupker from the Office of Student Involvement and Leadership as our sponsor and one of our guest speakers. Shelby will have 5 minutes for their presentation, and welcome and thank you.
Incredible. Okay, hello everybody. Nice to see so many faces here today. I hope everybody in Zoom can hear me okay. If not, please send a chat and I will speak up a little bit more. But hi, my name is Shelby Kupker. I'm with the Office of Student Involvement and Leadership. I am the coordinator for organizations and activities, so I work closely with all of our student organizations. Testing, can you hear me?
Okay, it works now.
Okay, we're good? All right, let's go for it. So like I said, I have a few special announcements that we want to let the community be aware of coming into the fall semester, and they relate specifically to the Hawk Spirit and Traditions Council. A lot of exciting things are coming out of this group. So, first and foremost, we would like to announce that voting has begun for the university's official hand sign. These are our three options that you see here. We are on a mission to define UHCL's official university hand sign. As many of you have seen, other universities around Texas and around the country have specific hand signs that you flash to show your university pride. UHCL is working on defining theirs. These three hand signs were narrowed down from many submissions from university students and staff, and these are the official three that we're going to vote on as a community. You will vote on Get Involved. Every student may vote one time before September 30th. So please go on there, vote for what you think is the representation of Go Hawks, and yeah, very exciting. Let us know what you think is the best one that, yes, I see some people in the audience doing them already. Very exciting. Tell your friends to go vote. We want as many voices involved in the decision as possible. So yeah, let us know if you have any questions in regard to that, but right when you log on to Get Involved, at the top, there will be a link to vote. So help us spread the word. Additionally, we have an exciting announcement that the UHCL letters that are up on the hill, the big, amazing letters everyone loves, are going to be replaced with some new permanent letters. They're going to be blue and green and very exciting. So the letters you once knew and loved are actually going to be coming down in the next couple weeks, but they will be replaced by a much more permanent, exciting set of letters. Spirit Traditions Council is hosting an event, ideally next week, but details are still being finalized, where students and staff, faculty, everybody can come and sign the letters to say goodbye. And then we'll be putting them in storage, and the new letters will be installed later this semester. So stop on by once you see the event info to sign the letters goodbye. And yeah, does anybody have any questions about either of those things, or any general questions about getting involved at UHCL? Yeah.
When do we sign the letters? What date?
Okay, so the question was, when specifically is the signing the letters event? The details are still being finalized when we can officially get the letters removed and have them set up in an accessible location for all students to sign them. So check out Get Involved. We're going to have flyers up. Keep an eye out in the next week or two.
What is the voting dates for the hand sign?
So the voting dates for the hand sign, the voting is open officially right now, and we ask that you vote by September 30th. That's a Thursday, the last day of the month.
Thank you.
So take plenty of time if you need to decide still. Any other questions in general? Our Office of Student Involvement and Leadership is right down the hall in SSCB in the student lounge. So stop by if you have any questions. Also, please feel free to go check out SoCal, our Student Org Center and Lounge on the second floor of SSCB. It's a great new space. Yeah, all right. Well, if no other questions, nice to see you all. Hope you have a fabulous day, and let us know if anything comes up. But thank you very much.
Thank you again for talking with us, and also thank you for the lovely snacks and drinks today. All right, today for new business, I will talk a bit about campus culture. First, I want to say thank you to the UHCL stakeholder who brought to my attention my usage of the word see, which I have since changed to notice. I want to thank those who have been willing to be vulnerable and talk about the way the system here has caused harm, intentionally or not, so that way we can work to practice cultural humility and do better. The SGA team is here to listen, even if that means you are telling us something that might be difficult to hear. We ask that you share, because doing so will help us all grow and enable us to act to improve our campus culture. Your voice matters. My question for you all today is if you notice something that could potentially cause harm to you or someone else, what do you do? Do you know where to report it? For example, if one of the rugs was folded in a way that could cause someone to trip, do you stop and fix it, or do you just pass it by? Further, what about something like the ADA buttons for the doors? What if they're not working? Do you check to make sure they're working? If they aren't, who do you talk to? Or do you just, again, continue past? And if you choose to move on, what would encourage you to make a report? So I want to open the floor for just a minute to ask you those questions and to invite any participation back about what you would do, or what do you do? What do you see being done here at UHCL? Yes.
Well, I know personally that like if one of the rugs like in front of the doors is like a little bit weird, I'll just like go ahead and kick it with my foot and straighten it out. And I feel like other people usually do the same thing. But I did notice that in the Ryan building by the Liberty Bell entrance, there was like the button on, like when you're going in from that entrance on the right, that button wasn't working. And it was a little bit annoying for me, but I meant to bring it up to somebody, but I didn't know exactly who to bring it up to, or like where. I know that I think we're supposed to report it to facilities, but I feel like if there is like some type of clear indicator or something more immediate, like right there, like even if it's just a QR code, it might be a little bit more easy for somebody to be like, oh, let me go ahead and report that.
Okay. Anybody else with something like that? If you knew where to report it, is that one of the issues maybe for reasons students or anybody else doesn't report? Yes.
Yeah, I want to agree with what she said. That was exactly what I was going to say. It's just was to go ahead and say, if there's something right there, as simple as like, oh, okay, it doesn't work. Here, I'll just do this. And if it's like a text message or like, hey, this doesn't work, this alerts notifies who's supposed to know. And so they can come and check it out whenever they get a chance to. Simple as that.
I see a lot of head nods in the room. Okay, so that is that's definitely a conversation. Is there anything on Zoom? Are we good? I also want to pay attention to that.
Sure, something that in the past is if I see something like that,
You can call maintenance and they'll you can get a ticket put in yourself. If it's something real quick like that button not working, or if you notice the AC is out in a certain room, their phone number is 283-2250. And anytime you see something like that, if you want to let somebody know and you're like, I want to get this fixed, you can call that number and it'll walk you through putting the ticket for that specific item. So
Where do you find that info?
it's on. They have a website on our e-services. So if you just type in maintenance, it has like it broken down where it's building maintenance, and it has like the custodial services, and then it has the phone number for each one.
So you're logged into e-services and then that's how you got into it?
Just on the on the homepage.
On the homepage?
So I guess right before you get into e-services for the UHCL homepage.
Thank you. So this is a conversation that I would like to continue having to ensure that students are able to have that discussion and to make that process easier. Today for our old business is a reminder that SGA positions and the anonymous question submission link are open. If you are interested in being a senator, a director, or working on a committee, please apply through Get Involved using the links on the agenda. If you have any questions, I will be available after the meeting, or you can reach out to us through email at sga@uhcl.edu. As I mentioned last week, SGA is reviewing its governing documents. Part of this process will be to open the floor for possible amendments to the Constitution from any UHCL student. If you would like to know more about that process, please email us at sga@uhcl.edu. Further, we are continuing to work with University Advancement on our parliamentarian search. Our goal is to engage an independent outside party whose only interest in assisting us is to better UHCL. We are working to be transparent in this process, as transparent in this process as possible. As a team, we are continuing to work to resolve issues that have hindered our ability to allocate funds to student organizations. For example, we are learning what is policy and what is practice, and what policy is state law versus UH systems versus UHCL versus campus department. For example, one of the first questions that I had when I came on as president was looking at our $22,500 SGA budget and asking a question about our students with housing insecurities here on campus, and if we would be able to turn that money into an endowment. I learned by working with campus administrators that Texas has a state law that says that student fee money is not able to be used toward housing. And so we had to look elsewhere, and we are working on that process. We are also awaiting responses from people within the Division of Student Affairs to learn how the SGA Executive Council can access our budget to improve our ability to do our DEIAA work, which is diversity, equity, inclusion, accessibility, and anti-racism work. Now we move into our executive reports, which will include topics on which we have been working this week. For my report, I would like to talk about our commitment to service. I'm working to create a system to track our work and provide you all with information about the work that we're doing. One of my commitments to you all this year is to help build transparency into these roles so that you know you are capable of filling them. One of the first conversations I had about SGA positions was with the Office of Student Advocacy. OSA has agreed to help provide professional clothing to any student elected to SGA office. I didn't want clothes or socioeconomic status to stop someone from becoming an active leader in SGA. I've also worked with the Office of Student Involvement and Leadership and with the SGA Executive Council to ensure that all SGA members receive training so that they could apply, knowing that they would be taught how to do the work. I know a lot of times we don't apply because we don't think that that's something that we can do, or we're just not sure. And so I just want one person, I've actually said one, several people have mentioned that they feel like these positions might be, or this SGA might seem a little bit intimidating. And so, so I just want to say, like, you will get help. You will learn how to do this work. And so I want you to know, like, if this is something that you think you might be able to do or might be a little interested in, please apply, please reach out to us. All right, I want to say thank you to ISA for their invitation to their freshers party and to ISAB for their welcome reception. Also to SDEI for hosting the affinity group lunches and providing spaces for students to meet who hold similar social identities. Further, I want to make you aware that on the 30th, I was invited to attend the meet and greet session for the then candidate and, as we learned Friday, the interim provost. The Executive Council, along with our advising team, is in the process of working to set up meetings with the Academic Affairs team now that Dr. Burbridge is no longer the UHCL provost. We will keep you updated on this progress. Lastly, I wanted to let you know that I am working on I'm a part of a work group focusing on communication and training. While this group has many charges, the one that we are focusing on right now is how UHCL collects and disseminates student concerns. I'm in search of feedback about this topic, and I ask that you all take a moment to message me on Teams at skates@uhcl.edu or email me at the same address with your perspective. Schedule a meeting with me to talk through your experiences. The information and the questions that we had a few minutes ago under new business, I will also take that back to the team to let them know some of the students' concerns. So now, before I turn the floor over to our Vice President, Brandon, I would like to take a moment to thank him for his work. Without Brandon, I'm not sure we could get much done. He is the reason we are organized, have an agenda, a PowerPoint, and minutes, and the person behind most of our emails. This is a lot of work. And thanking him, I would like to ask you all to send in your sponsorship requests and speaker requests early so that he can plan in advance. We are working hard this year to work ahead of time. Thank you, Brandon, for all you do, for who you are, and for help making our team better. They have no idea that I was going to say that.
Jay, making me blush a little bit. No, I honestly do appreciate everyone and how they do submit their requests coming in. And it does make this a lot easier when y'all submit those requests like that, so I appreciate it. So I guess first of all, my name is Brandon Woodcock. I'm Vice President of Administration. And today I'd like to talk a little bit about the Police Department focus group that was spoken about last meeting by Chief Miller. It's right now it's a small focus group of maybe 4 students, but we're looking to expand it. And our first meeting is going to be this Thursday. It's going to be a small meeting over at the police department. It's going to go from 8 a.m. to 12. It's going to have food. It's going to have different training exercises and just talk about some of the concerns that we have with campus policing, have some of those difficult conversations, and just to talk about how we would like campus policing to look like from a student perspective, as well as gaining the perspective of the police department as well. Second, we just had the pleasure of getting Alexis Starpoli as our new director of special youth. Very excited to have her because we saw all the awesome work that she does with CAB, and we were like, this would be a great addition to our team. So we really appreciate you coming on board with us.
Thank you, Brandon. So Vice President Ganesh does not have a report this week. However, I still want to thank Ganesh for his service in creating the structures to build awareness and to promote spaces to enable students to access and to create change at UHCL. If any of you have ever created processes before, you know how much work this is. In thanking him, I would also like to take a moment to ask each of you to look into your schedules and see if you could work 1 hour once a month to talk to students, or excuse me, work in 1 hour a month to talk about various areas on campus to help make UHCL a better place for us and for future students. If you can make time for 1 hour a month, the link to apply for the committee positions is listed on the agenda and on the PowerPoint. Thank you again, Ganesh, for all that you do and for who you are and for helping make our team better. Vice President Crystal also does not have a report this week. Again, I want to thank her for her hard work, for hosting 2 successful tables during the weeks of welcome, and for the way that she makes herself available to talk to those who reach out to us on social media. In thanking her, I would like to encourage you all to follow us on Instagram. I am amazed at her work and the way she incorporates inclusion and accessibility into her posts. Thank you, Crystal, for all you do. So for all the members, I would like of the Executive Council, I would like to thank them for their willingness to speak up when they see something that we can improve, because every time we grow as a team and are able to act to improve ourselves, our team, and the university. Thank you again for your leadership. As you may notice on the agenda, we have added the Senate reports and the committee report sections to the longstanding SGA agenda. Once these groups receive training and begin to meet, we will have representatives speak about what is happening in each group and listen to feedback from students during our meetings. Okay, up next, Vice President Crystal will introduce and facilitate the 3-minute presentations for the student organization announcements. Please go ahead, Crystal.
Hello,
Hello, welcome everybody. For student organization announcements, we have Miss Alexis Sarpoli talking for campus activity boards.
Hi, Alexis Sarpoli, and I'm with the Campus Activities Board. I'm the Recruitment and Retention Coordinator. And I just want to share some events that we have coming up this month. So our first event is going to be this Thursday. It's Design a Hawk. It's kind of like Build a Bear, but like with the hawk. You get to decorate its clothes, dress it up, stuff it, give it a little life with a heart and a star. It's going to be from 2 to 4 p.m. in the Bayou Atrium. That is this Thursday. Our next event is going to be next week on September 17th from 5 to 7 p.m. We're changing the SoCal room into an escape room. And the SoCal room is also upstairs, that big room just right up the stairs. Welcome. And so that's going to be from 5 to 7 p.m. And then our last event for this month is on September 20th. It's going to be National Pepperoni Pizza Day. So we definitely want to celebrate that. So we are giving away pepperoni pizza, and we will have vegan and vegetarian options as well. That'll be from 1 to 2 p.m. in the Bayou Atrium. And this week on Friday, we are having our general member meeting from 11 to 11:30. And if you want to get involved with CAB, you can register on Get Involved if you look up Campus Activities Board. Thank you.
Quick question.
Yes.
Where is the meeting gonna be?
The general members meeting,
Yes.
that's going to be online. So yes, yeah, that'll be online.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Crystal and Alexis. Up next is Vice President Brandon to introduce and facilitate the 3-minute presentations.
Hello again. So for our general announcements, we have Ms. Tiffany Chandler from Career Services speak on upcoming events.
Hi everyone, my name is Tavia Chandler. I'm the Employer Relations Coordinator for Career Services, and I just wanted to let you all know about some upcoming events we have. So next week is Career Week, and it's going to be in preparation for the All Majors Career Fair. We will be having on-the-spot resume reviews in the Bayou building on Monday. And then we're going to be doing resume reviews with employers as well on Tuesday. We'll also be having some workshops, including the interviewing workshop before, during, and after. We have mock interviews with employers, and then we'll also be having a interview attire 101 and fashion showcase. If you are interested in participating in the showcase, we will be working with Dress for Success and Career Gear. We are still looking for student volunteers, so if you are interested, you can email Career Services. We will also be doing a LinkedIn workshop and then an elevator speech workshop on Thursday. And then on Friday, we're going to be closing it out with professional portraits for your LinkedIn profile in our office, which is on the 3rd floor of this building. Some of the workshops do also have virtual options. So if you're not able to come see us in person, you can do it virtually. All of the information for registration is going to be on Jobs for Hawks. And then we do have all of the events posted and Get Involved as well. So the All Majors Career Fair is going to be the following week, which is Wednesday, September 22nd. 1:30 to 4 in the Rec and Wellness Building, but then we've also added a virtual option for that as well, and that's going to be on the same date, but it's going to be from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And registration for that is also on Jobs for Hawks. Yes.
There's a question in the chat of where are the locations for these events?
So the locations are all posted in Jobs for Hawks and on Get Involved.
Thank you.
No problem. And this is just information if you are interested in meeting with a career counselor to prepare for the fairs, or if you need help with career exploration, you can do appointments by phone and Zoom, and then we are also doing appointments in person now. Just call our office or email careerservices@uhcl.edu. And then just to bring it back to Jobs for Hawks, if you are a new student or not, you do already have a Jobs for Hawks account. You just have to go in and activate it. You would just use your same login that you use for your webmail and Blackboard, and then you'll be able to log in.
You can just walk in for the
For the event, you can walk in. You'll have to check in there, but if you wanted like the information for like the location and stuff, but you can't just walk in. Any other questions? Thank you.
Next up, we have Ms. Kate Rivardo from Office of Student Involvement and Leadership.
Hello, everyone. We will be having our Student Organization Center and Lounge open house tomorrow, September 8th, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. The Student Organization Center and Lounge, also known as SoCal, is located on the second floor of the Student Services Building. Please come by for a shirt and refreshments. Thank you.
Thank you all. Now, as we move into open forum, as you may notice on the agenda, we are working to reserve a minimum of 10 minutes for each open forum. We ask that you participate and also be respectful and aware of your time. During open forum, we would like to hear your concerns, things that you appreciate, and what you need to be successful here at UHCL. We will stop sharing screen on Zoom so that we can have an open conversation with those present and those on Zoom. If you are currently in the overflow rooms in the student lounge and in SoCal, and you have a question, comment, or concern for open forum, we ask that you sign in via Zoom to speak. Please raise your hand if you would like to speak or submit your question in the chat or through the anonymous submission link.
The question, are there currently enough people to meet quorum if something needed to be voted on? The president of my organization mentioned that there were some problems with this last year. So we definitely did have problems with meeting quorum over the last year, but seeing as our attendance has come up from the spring greatly from where it was, I don't think that we'll have the same problems that we did over the spring semester with meeting quorum. We also did reevaluate how we were looking at the Constitution to read which organizations are participating. So with that, it really decreased the number of organizations that we need to meet quorum. So as far as meeting it, it won't be as hard as it was over the spring semester because of how we're looking at the Constitution and also because of the more participation that we're getting. So I don't foresee that we'll have the same issues that we had with quorum over the spring. That's it for Zoom.
I know last week, it was mentioned that y'all would talk to who y'all needed to talk to about getting more times for the shuttle. Are there any updates regarding that?
No updates with that yet that I have. We have reached out to Vice President Mark Denny about getting those added. So it is on the agenda to speak with him about, but right now we don't have any updates on adding the new shuttle locations or times yet.
I have a question that there is any room or any person I can open door policy that if I'm feeling very low, I can go and talk to some person. Is it available? Actually, there is something called mental health care, but there is like appointment basis. But what if it is an urgent need and I need to talk? That time I don't have time for appointment for 1 week. I can't wait for it. So
If you have an emergency, and it's during hours, go to, counseling services, you can go in and just speak with the person and let them know that you're having an emergency and they will work with you.
but they told that if it is like death, life or death situation, threatening situation, then only they can do it. Otherwise, it's like you take appointment. So I just need to know that if sometime I'm feeling very low and that time I need to talk to someone, what is, can I get someone or something like that?
That's, we can talk further with counseling services and I can find out. I can also speak with, some other people on campus to find out, because that's, you should be able to have access to care. Definitely add that. Thank you. So, in order to work on continuing conversation during open forum and to get people also again to talk, some of the issues that we have heard about are also things like we've had multiple students asking about support for students who are parents on campus. We have had students ask about ensuring that they are protected when they talk about controversial topics. We, as mentioned earlier, the shuttle locations and time options about having more, and also about how to ensure professors and other UHCL departments are using the correct pronouns when they interact with students. So these are some of the topics that have been brought to our attention, and that what I'm wondering is if that there are other students who may, if there's other students who may have some of these same concerns, and in order to move some of these processes along, being able to help link them together, especially if I can incorporate one of our senators or or take them and have them either work with a committee or at least speak with a committee. That's something that I would love to be able to make those connections. So if any of these topics are something that they are areas that you are concerned about or interested in working on, please reach out and let us know. Again, let us know anything that you see or that you need here on campus to be successful. I look forward to hearing more from you about any of these topics or anything else. Share.
All right, we have a anonymous submission, and I'll read it for everyone. It says, the TVs have been showing the news every day during this year. Although it's important to keep up with the news, it should be left up to us as students to read the news on our own instead of coming to our class in the morning and seeing what the Taliban is currently doing in Afghanistan or how the hospital beds in Texas are almost at full capacity. It says, please be our voice and get the TVs changed to positive words of encouragement and announcements as they were previously.
I vote yes on that because I feel that when you walk in the morning and that's like the first thing you see, like that just sets the mood.
Yeah, and I was working with orientation this summer and we were in the bayou by the elevators where one of the TVs is, and that's where we were doing our check-in. And as we're checking in, the students like, hey, welcome to orientation, da, 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 da. It was the news of that, and it was like a little bit awkward. They didn't really mention it. Don't know if they even noticed there was a TV there, but it's just like, oh. So it was just like a little bit awkward, I guess.
So I know that it mentions what was on the TVs previously. I'm not really aware of what was on there before we had like the news and stuff playing. Was it just like the student announcements and stuff like that we had?
I don't think we had TV set up in the value like that.
They had events on there.
They
Like,
did?
there was events and any dates, important things like that.
Yeah,
That's what you can see on it.
Yeah, because I think there's another TV in the Bayou Atrium, maybe from counseling services that has like events on there, and then some of the TVs play like important events that are happening, and then I feel like there's always been the news like on the TVs in the Bayou building and then in the TV right when you enter the student lounge.
Yeah, I only see I've only seen the one in the student lounge right here, and then like going into the Bayou building. I think I've only seen like one or two of them in the Bayou
Yeah.
building. All the other ones are like events and stuff. going
Yeah,
on.
there's only a couple of them that play the news, but maybe doing that like during election season, like when the news is changing a lot more every single second would be helpful. Or taking into account like what's playing on the news at that time. Because I know that a lot of people also bring their kids to campus since we do have an older population, so I don't know if that's something to take into account as well.
Next step maybe to discuss with the people who are in charge of those TVs if they're putting on the news on this specific TV and this one is not curated for student events and stuff like that, to have that conversation with those people who are in charge of that TV, like, all right, can we have this TV be student events or something like that? Or if we're doing stuff like orientation and we're having students come through like an event or something, like, can we have this TV play something else as far as, but I do think that at the same time, it may be a little bit important to have students aware of what's going on around the world, like as far as seeing the news and stuff like that. But I think you're right in saying there's like a place and a time for it, you know? So maybe during events and stuff like that, we could change it.
It's a bit of a catch-22. Like we want to stay informed, but seeing it all day is also.
Right.
Yeah.
I like what you said, Ryan, about staying like informed, because like for me personally, me and my mom don't watch the news really that much just because it's always not the happiest topic. So we don't really watch it too much in the house. But then when I do come to school, I kind of like get a little preview of what is going on. So that does help a little bit. But I understand also for students who are here all day. Like I'm not here every single day, all day. So that could be much.
I do appreciate whoever put this anonymous question in, because it does create like the dialogue around it. And I think it's important for us to be able to discuss what the students' concerns are, even if it's through the anonymous link. So I do appreciate whoever did
That
that.
was a good one. Because I've like considered it, but like I've never like brought it up.
Is there comments in the chat?
Yeah, there's a couple of comments in the chat. One person says that they agree they don't think political news should be playing on the school TVs. Another person says that they agree as well. It puts them in a bad mood when they see the TVs. Having local news would be nice to hear about rather than national news at times.
Also, local news can like inform about weather and stuff like that.
No hurricanes, please. Okay. Would anybody be interested in continuing this conversation and being, again, connected in a way to help move forward whatever dialogue you are interested in moving forward, or having those conversations with the people in charge of those TVs? So that's the next part. Is it's great to have conversation, and we also need to make sure that when we have conversation, we start moving things, or that the conversation is grounded in action. So what are some action steps that we can start to take moving this forward? I mean, as a whole, as a university, as the people sitting in this room or on Zoom right now, what are some things that y'all would be willing to do to help move some of these things that you've said in this room forward?
Maybe this is like a lame idea, but can we just survey the students and see what they might prefer on TV or not? Like as simple as like news or like politics or school events, you know? It doesn't have to be like a big selection.
Okay.
So this goes back, original, I had something to bring up. Over there in the STEM building, I don't know how it is in the women's restrooms for the faucets, but for every single floor for the men's restrooms, when we wash our hands like that, the water pressure in those faucets gets everywhere. I'm talking about, I mean, it is everywhere.
Some of the sinks are like that in the women's restroom as well.
Yeah. Is that just in the STEM?
Yeah.
I really hate the faucets.
Yeah, there we go.
Like,
they're not very liked.
I'd rather it be just like one flow of water instead of those little shower head things. Like, what even is the point of that?
Oh, I was wondering, is there any plan of getting food over to the Arbor and Delta building? Because currently the only food options at Arbor and Delta are vending machines, so is there any plan to like do anything so there's more food options or at least more times when the shuttle is running during like lunch or something? Because it is it's about a 15 to 20-minute walk going back and forth, and you don't want to drive your car 5 minutes and then park, like lose your parking spot at Arbor and Delta, drive over, park, come out, park again, and then go back. So would there be any possibility of getting like a food truck or a type of like grab and go situation like they have in the Hot Coffee House over to Arbor and Delta?
That would definitely be a question that we could talk with the Dining Advisory Committee on. And if that is something that you're interested in, there are open seats on the Dining Advisory Committee. So yeah, I'm gonna throw that one back as well. So there are definitely some open seats. And it's a very important conversation because I know that like you said, there is only some limited amount of stuff over there. So that is something that we can reach out to them about to see if that is something that they're moving forward with. If it's not, then I would definitely advise anybody who wants something like that to sign up for the Dining Advisory Committee on the Get Involved page. Yes.
Are the food trucks gonna be coming back? Now they used to do like a random.
They have.
I thought I've seen some.
You can stop at Delta too, you know.
Oh, but they don't go to Arbor and Delta.
Yeah.
And there, I don't know all the, I know who we can talk to about those rules and again, what's policy, what's practice, and start to kind of break that down. Like I said, I know that there are open seats. They have a total of 6 seats available, and 3 of those are for commuter students and 3 of those are for resident students. So if you fit into either of those categories, please apply for those seats.
This is something like that actually pointed out one time. It has to do with parking and like driving in the parking lot. So the first exit out of like in front of the Bayou building, it's like blocked by like all the plants and stuff. You know what I'm talking about? Like that stop sign where you can't like really see the road. And that can get really dangerous. Because if you can't see like the car there, or if there's someone riding like their motorcycle or something, you can potentially hit them. So I think that needs to be cleared out or made like more clear.
Okay, yes, absolutely. That's something we can take to the parking and transportation.
And then along with that, like the flow of where you should be driving. Like I see some people, they're like going the opposite direction. That can like also lead to danger.
Which spot? The same spot?
Like just in general.
Just in general, okay.
Yeah. we're gonna cut through another line.
Yeah.
And to add to that, Helga said, there is a long traffic jam around 4 PM on University Drive from the main building going to the Delta building. Not sure how to solve it or who, but it made me being late 15 minutes last time for class. I went around through Bay Area Boulevard instead, but still is a long roundabout.
And there's a long line this morning too.
I know that there was an email that usually gets sent out, I believe it probably got sent out, about taking some of the other entrances because that is traditionally an issue. And I'm not sure who we can bring that up with, but we will, parking and transportation.
The easy solution for is that like at this time when college starts or when college leaves, what we can do is like we can just stop the traffic from other areas and we can ask like give permission for like university area to be cleared first. That is one way which we can do. And for this, we need help from police department and transportation committee to solve this. I'll be working on this and I'll make sure that I'll give you a update by next 2 weeks. Yeah.
Thank you.
Are there open seats on the parking transportation committee?
Yeah, we have.
Just letting y'all know, it's there.
Another thing regarding maybe parking and transportation, I've noticed that like it's really cool that they come, but there's a lot of maybe community members and other people that like to walk around and bike and stuff. But I've noticed that I ride the shuttle like every day, but I've noticed that sometimes they're just going on the side of the street, like, and not using the sidewalks. And sometimes they just don't move and they'll just like be on the edge. And it's like, I get nervous for them just because I'm like, how are you not recognizing that there's a giant shuttle behind you? It's like everybody gets trapped in their own world listening to music sometimes. And I'm like, I feel like we need to have either we need more sidewalks or we need to tell community members like, hey, please utilize the sidewalks, please don't ride in the street, because I feel like they often don't realize, and I feel like that can be very dangerous, and we wouldn't want something to happen.
Cool. If we're going around really slow bicycle riders.
I would get anxiety when there's a bicyclist.
Let them say something.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you to those on Zoom and to you all for our discussion today, for being willing to engage in conversation. I know it takes sometimes a lot of courage to speak up. And so I really want to say thank you for doing that today. As the meeting comes to a close, we will. There we go. Just want to go into our closing remarks. So our next General Assembly meeting will be held on September 14th, 2021 through an in-person and synchronous options for those who are unable to join us. At 11:20, SGA will hold a weekly mindfulness activity. If you would like to participate, please be present by 11:15 to sign in and gather important information. The doors will reopen at 11:25 so others can join us and we can begin promptly at 11:30. To schedule agenda time, a completed request form must be submitted via the SGA website by 12 noon on Wednesday, September 8th, 2021. Online forms are available at www.uhcl.edu/SGA. Our quote of the day: a strong leader is one who creates other leaders. So by Gina Rodriguez. So thank you again for being here. Thank you for speaking. And for those of you who are interested, our committees are open. Become a leader and encourage others to do so as well. So thank you. And with that, our meeting is adjourned.